Hi everyone, today I'm here to talk about The Killing Floor by Lee Child. For those of you who don't know, this is the first novel in the Jack Reacher series that Lee Child has written, and I have never read any of these books before. I have never seen any of the movies, I have not seen the TV show, so I had no idea what to expect. I mean, I knew it was kind of a thriller series, there's always some problem and some drug lord or something that Jack Reacher has to stop or whatever, but it was fun. I liked it. So one of my coworkers gave me another one of his books called Persuader, which I will be reviewing soon. And I just wanted to kind of read the first book in the series. Not that you necessarily need to. I feel like none of the Jack Reacher novels, as if I've read tons. I've read 2 now. So the ones that I've read, they don't seem to really be connected. I feel like they're kind of like the James Bond books where there's a different babe in every book and they don't necessarily have to be read in any specific order, and there's not necessarily connections to other books. So you could just pick up any Jack Reacher novel and read it and it would probably be fine. I just think it's always fascinating to see the first book. Just like with Sherlock Holmes, I'm like, okay, what was the first story that Arthur Conan Doyle wrote about him? Which is hilarious, by the way. I find it super, super hilarious. But anyway, so I wanted to read The Killing Floor to see like the conception of the character of Jack Reacher and how he came about and what the first story was. So that's why I read The Killing Floor first before reading this other book that my coworker gave me. And I enjoyed it. It was a very quick read. It's one of those books where you don't necessarily have to think about it, and it's just fun and exciting. I definitely thought The Killing Floor had a very, very, in my opinion, slow beginning. But once again, it was the first book in the series. He's introducing the character, and so of course there's going to be like a little spin up to the action while that is happening. But it was still really enjoyable once I got into the action. I read it really quick, maybe in just a couple of days. Helped that I was sick and I had nothing else to do, so while I was dying of my sickness, I was reading. But yeah, like I said, it's just kind of like a fun little thriller book, and you don't really have to think about it. No deep thoughts. It's just a quick, fun, enjoyable read. And I liked the writing. I liked that it was in first person. I've read that not all of them are, but that actually surprised me. I wasn't expecting it to be in first person, but that's because I feel like all the other like thriller related books or suspense related books that I've read have definitely been in third person point of view. So that was kind of fun to have something in first person point of view. And I actually kind of liked that a lot. So you could get into his brain and what Jack Reacher was thinking and how he works and why he works that way, all from his point of view. So I actually really liked that. And yeah, I'm like, if you like thrillers, if you like suspense novels, check it out. It's fun. I don't really have much more to say about it. I know sometimes I ramble on about books all the time, but yeah, read it. It was enjoyable. It was fun. Like I said, I definitely think it's going to be like James Bond, where every other book there's some character that he thinks is hot and they're going to sleep together, and it's going to be like his flame for the book, even though they're not even like super connected or important, or like I said, they're not gonna like show up in another book or whatever, but it was entertaining. So that was The Killing Floor by Lee Child, and since this is kind of like a thriller suspense type novel, my question is going to be, what other ones have you read, and do you have any favorite ones? I can't really, it's been a long time since I've read like a thriller or a suspense or like a novel with some ex-cop doing his own thing or special ops or whatever. I used to read a lot of Steve Barry books, and I used to read James Rollins, and I feel like those were kind of in the same vein. Those just had like more historical mysteries kind of woven into the story, but it was like, there's some bad organization and crap is happening and the hero has to go rescue people. So I read a lot of those growing up. I don't know if like Dan Brown's books count. I really liked Angels and Demons, and I really liked the Da Vinci Code. He wrote another book that doesn't have Robert Langdon. I think it's called Deception Point, but don't quote me on that. I really liked that one too. Digital Fortress was one of his books. I thought that was But after the Da Vinci Code, I really didn't like his other books with Robert Langdon. They were just kind of like very blah, and predictable. And a lot of people make fun of his writing and like his descriptiveness or whatever. But once again, it's like, it's not great literature. It's just fun literature. Like it's not supposed to invoke any sort of like insane thought or whatever. You're just supposed to read it and have fun. And that's what it is with Lee Child. Like, I enjoyed these books. I had fun reading them. Persuader I read in like 2 days because I was just like, I want to see what happens, blah, blah, blah. So once again, like, they're just entertainment. They're fun. It's whatever, you know? I like it that sometimes I don't always have to read these deep books that make me think about things. Sometimes I just want to get away from this world, obviously. So yeah, but I've enjoyed all those books, like books by all of those authors that I mentioned. So thank you so much for listening. I do try and post every Friday, but it just depends on when I have time to read. And comment down below. Do you have any like favorite thriller books or suspense books or authors, series of books, novels, whatever? Just go ahead and comment down below. And have you ever seen Jack Reacher, the movies, the TV show? Have you ever read any books? Do you like them? Is there a certain one that you think I should read? And yeah, like, subscribe, comment. Thank you so much for listening, and y'all have a great day.